Breaking your DNA sure sounds like a whole lot of fun, doesn't it? DNA breaks are awesome as far as your health is concerned. It's one of the best forms of damage for your body. After all, with the great consequences involved in tearing DNA apart, it's something you'll want to get started on as soon as possible. There are three main benefits that you get from trying to break your DNA. The first one you can reap is that of mutations. When your DNA doesn't repair itself properly, it can lead to many different mutations in your genes. Does this mean you'll gain superpowers? You'll have to keep watching to find out. The second benefit you get from shattering the structure of your DNA is cell death. This can include many different types of cells in your body, and if your goal is to slowly kill as many of them, then you're in the right place. Last but not least, breaking your own DNA can give you cancer and make you older much faster. But exactly how does DNA break? To get just a little technical, DNA is essentially a molecule that contains your genetic code. It's individual and unique to you. DNA's model is known as the double helix structure, like a twisted ladder, with two strands that wind around each other in a right-handed fashion. Then, DNA damage can happen in one of two ways. First, there's the single strand break, or SSB. This is when just one strand of the DNA double helix is damaged. To achieve this, you'll need support from free radicals, pollutants, and UV radiation. Yeah, that's right. Even something as simple as sunlight can help you. The other type of DNA break is the double standard break, or DSB. It's the much more serious of the two, which is, of course, even better because it does double the damage in half the time. If you want to see how fast you can demolish your DNA, then do any of the following, preferably in combination. Let's see how fast we can cause some DNA breaks. Number 1, hit the beach. For anybody who likes sunbathing and enjoying cocktails at the beach, be sure to leave your sunscreen at home. Whereas most of us would put on a healthy helping of sunscreen to the point where we look like snowmen, that's not how you're going to break your DNA. Exactly how sunlight affects DNA is a bit complicated. There are 4 main DNA building blocks, which are adenine, A, guanine, G, cytosine, C, and thymine, T. Guanine's job is to connect with cytosine, and thymine's job is to connect with another one of the building blocks, adenine. Together they connect 2 ends of DNA strands, just like mortar connects the bricks in a building. When exposed under the sunlight, instead of thymine linking with adenine to complete a DNA strand, 2 thymines link together to create what is known as a dimer, which is like a typo on your genetic code, something that interferes with your DNA replicating properly. This can result in genetic mutations, and skin cancer is one of the top results you'll manage to achieve by doing this. In fact, if you manage to make some dimers, you might just increase your chances of getting skin cancer by as much as 60%. Number 2, buy an expensive tanning bed. Of course, if going to the beach seems like too much effort, a tanning bed will do fine as well. According to official research, the UV radiation from a tanning bed, when used before the age of 35, can increase the risk of skin cancer by 75%. There are 3 types of radiation that you can use to quickly rip those DNA strands apart: UVA, UVB, and UVC. UVA has the least energy of the 3, and is therefore the least harmful. If you just want to cause a bit of damage, then soaking up some UVA from the sun or tanning beds is recommended. Second in terms of being harmful is UVB, which you can also find under the sun or in tanning booths. The most energetic and harmful of all are UVC rays. So if you want to cause a lot of damage and fast, then UVC is what you need. Interestingly enough, however, these 3 types of UV rays share an inverse relationship between energy and penetration. Although UVC rays are the most harmful, they also feature the least penetration. Unfortunately for your DNA breaking goals, most UVC rays are absorbed by the ozone layer covering the planet. The only way to access them is by traveling to a country with a thin ozone layer, like New Zealand or Australia. To be fair, you can just sit under a germicidal lamp for a while. If that doesn't sound like much fun, then getting both UVA and UVB rays from the sun and tanning beds is your next best bet, as they both penetrate the skin, with UVA rays penetrating to the deepest layers, whereas UVB rays only penetrate the outer layers of your skin. Number 3, always live a stressful life. Living a chronically stressed out life is also a great way to destroy your DNA. Let's face it, with the economy the way it is, the world burning around us, and World War III being on the brink, being stressed out isn't all that hard. Stress causes your body to release cortisol, a hormone associated with the fight or flight response. It's about giving us the energy to deal with immediate threats. If you're always stressed out, you can make those cortisol levels stay sky high forever, leading to greatest DNA breakages. Stress also leads to chronic inflammation and it weakens your immune system, leaving you open to invaders of all sorts. It also makes your DNA much less efficient at repairing itself, which can lead to mutations. Unsure how to stress yourself out? Boy, do we have some tips for you. Starting a fight with your significant other? Ooh, try working much harder. Working at a job that you really hate. A job that barely pays you. With a boss that treats you terribly. If all those things don't work, a few puffs of a cigarette might. Number 4, pick up a pack of smokes. As far as breaking DNA is concerned, smoking is probably one of the most efficient ways. There are over 7,000 super helpful and DNA-breaking chemicals found in cigarettes, with arsenic, formaldehyde, and benzene being just some of them. You might also be a fan of mutagenic chemicals like acrylonitrile, which is one of the best things you can put in your system to damage DNA. This can also be said for polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, a group of atoms created by burning tobacco, resulting in some awesome mutations in the body. There are plenty of other dangerous chemicals in cigarettes too. According to official studies, smoking is indeed a fantastic way to make your DNA fight for its life. So, find your favorite brand of tobacco and start puffing. There's no time like the present to start working on a dose of lung cancer. And while you're at it, you should start drinking too. Number 5, start drinking like a fish. Drinking is a whole lot of fun. There's no doubt about that. You get to empty your wallet on a ton of drinks that usually don't even taste that good. It's a lot of fun to be drunk in the moment, and even better when you're vomiting it all back up the next morning. Luckily for you, drinking booze is also a great way to ruin your genetic structure, and quite efficiently too. Drinking too many of your favorite cocktails causes your body to produce more free radicals. Think of free radicals as little guys with chainsaws that want to bring down the house. They're super reactive because they're missing an electron. In search of that missing electron, free radicals damage your cells, with your DNA being a part of that. Did you know that up to 4% of all cancer diagnoses can be attributed to regular alcohol consumption? If you want to be a part of that lucky 4%, you better get started now. Luckily for you, research shows that having 8 standard drinks per day at the least will accelerate the process, so you know exactly what you need to do. And while you're drinking to break your DNA, let's start working on your diet. Number 6, put down the greens and start snacking hard. You need to eat right as well to demolish your DNA faster. Sure, doctors might tell you to eat certain things that are healthy for you, but that won't get you anywhere on this front. Eating barely any fiber while consuming way too much red meat and processed meat is a one-way ticket to Cancer City. Colorectal, prostate, and endometrial cancers are all on their way to you as long as you stop eating that nasty fiber. Doctors also recommend eating a Mediterranean diet that is full of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats. That doesn't sound very tasty, and it won't ruin your genetic makeup quickly either. That's why the best way to go is with a high-fat diet that'll quickly give the DNA in your liver a 1-2 knockout punch. Some might even recommend becoming a vegan to cut down on processed foods, meats, and other tasty treats. The bottom line is that to preserve the integrity of your body, eating healthily is a must. But that's not what we're here for. You want to break that DNA as quickly as possible. So pick up a 20-ounce steak, a pound of double-fried French fries, and don't forget some super sugary soda too. If you eat right, you'll have no problems getting unhealthy, overweight, and damaging your DNA. All those chemicals and toxins sure are tasty. Number 7, start soaking up toxins and chemicals. You might think that walking is healthy. Sure, it might benefit your muscles, your cardiovascular system, and your mind, but who wants to bother with that? Instead, you need to think about how mild exercise like walking exposes you to a litany of terrible chemicals and toxins. Walking outside is downright dangerous thanks to all that pesky air pollution. It damages the DNA and can cause cancer, something that all of the ozone present at ground level does really well. Particulate matter, black carbon, nitrogen oxides, and polyaromatic hydrocarbons are all known for improving genetic instability and decreasing human lifespan. Even better, instead of just walking around, why not start working outdoors as a pesticide applicator? It's a rewarding career full of DNA breaks and disease. There are so many dangerous pesticides and chemicals that you have your pick of the bunch. Pesticides like DDT and dieldrin cause cancer, birth defects, and more. Your best course of action is to spend all day outside in a polluted city, spraying pesticides and chain smoking. Number 8. Make friends with chronic inflammatory diseases. Chronic inflammation makes your body susceptible to free radical damage. On that note, chronic inflammation also stops DNA from repairing itself. Making friends with inflammation isn't that hard. You just need to eat right, gain weight, stop all exercise, start smoking and drinking, and expose yourself to as many toxins as possible. Starting to eat more fats would give you a good dose of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And if regular fatty liver disease is what you'd enjoy the most, then start pounding back the beers. If your lungs a punch instead of your liver, make sure to keep smoking and inhaling car exhaust. It would help you achieve chronic lung inflammation and eventually COPD, a lung disease that makes breathing feel like you're trying to suck air through a straw. Do this properly, developing cancer, arthritis, neurodegenerative diseases, lung disease, diabetes, and more are all in your future.